What's going on, everyone? I'm just your typical standard Canadian nerd here to react to your average, everyday American man who is here today to learn about Ottawa, the city that fun forgot. Now, as with my last video, I am working on the sound quality. Please, if you notice any good or bad about the sound, let me know in the comments down below. Give me the who, what, where, when, how, and why about how I can do better, or how it's a problem, or if it's good because blah, blah, blah. And with all that blah, blah out of the way, let's get into learning 10 things about Ottawa. And we press play.
What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about Ottawa. 15 places to visit
15
in Ottawa.
All right.
Now, when I think of Ottawa,
he doesn't know anything.
When a lot of Americans think of Ottawa,
they don't
don't know what the heck to think about.
There it is. Yeah.
I don't mean that as an insult. It's just that Americans really don't know anything
Very true.
about any Canadian cities.
Yeah, and here, me growing up in Ottawa, I can tell you a lot, and there's not a lot to say. That's a joke. But here on screen, you can see the picture of the Parliament buildings. This is where our government happens.
Or any foreign cities at all, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that's
maybe
fair.
Some of the most famous cities in the world. Maybe a little about London. That there's a clock tower, you know.
It's called Big
That's
Ben.
the extent of our knowledge on the thing. So
our clock tower here is known as the Peace Tower.
I thought it'd be cool to, now that I am familiar, a little more familiar with Canada, I know that Ottawa's the capital. I want to know what the heck, what can I do in Ottawa? There's probably some pretty cool stuff in Ottawa. So I thought this this video would be cool.
You know, interestingly, Canada has had more than one capital city. A long time ago, the capital city was moved to the Niagara region in a little town called St. Catharines, a town which I'd never heard of until I moved there.
You know, 15 places to visit in the city. I have no idea what makes for a cool spot in Ottawa, but I'm pretty interested to find out.
Okay, so one pretty cool thing about Ottawa is its geographical location. It's right on the river that separates Ontario from Quebec, and that river with canals does lead to the main oceans. It's just like, it's a good shipping lane, but not a very popular shipping lane because it doesn't really go anywhere when you're heading to the interior of Canada. But it is on a waterway that is easily accessible, so ships can arrive, and that's why it became kind of a hub for the fur trade industry and the military-industrial complex of the time.
So, let's find out.
The capital of Canada. Many say the visit is not worth it.
What? What do you mean? Who says that?
People who go to parties.
Who is saying the visit to Ottawa isn't worth it? What the heck?
Anyone who's not interested in museums, parks, and politics, really.
So touristic. We don't agree. This city in the province of Ontario is a beautiful city. So British it seems like Europe.
And the big thing that they're showing off are the tulips, which they're a gift from the Netherlands after the liberation from the Nazis in the Second World War.
There's many options, with most of the sites being in the center, making it possible to see almost everything on foot.
Yes, you don't need a car if you're staying in downtown Ottawa, if you can afford to stay in downtown Ottawa.
Talk about 15 places and sites to visit in...
Whoa. Wow, this stuff is going by pretty quick. I know it's not part of the list yet, but it's already, like, beautiful stuff. All in Ottawa?
Almost everything on foot. Let's talk about 15 places and sites to visit in the city, most of them with free admission, which we did in 2.5 days.
And apparently most of them involving this woman who we keep seeing in the clips. Maybe she's related to the narrator? I don't know. But yes, this giant spider is a sculpture outside the Museum of Nature.
First of all, you can
Oh, there's a giant spider or something.
most of them with free admission, which we did in 2.5 days.
Ah, what is it? What's going on here? I'm not going to Ottawa. Get this thing away from me.
It's
Okay,
just a
let's get
sculpture,
it.
guy.
We can divide Ottawa on 2 sides by its canal, west and east.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So, what's this called? Rio, Ottawa?
Rideau.
Or what's the name of this
The Rideau Canal.
canal? Anyway, east and west side. Got it.
Other attractions are in other neighborhoods, far from downtown.
I grew up in the West End, and I dated someone in the East End, and I had friends in the South End as well.
Let's mention it in case of each attraction where it is. 1.
Okay.
Parliament Hill, great postcard of the city. It
Right, because this is the capital of Canada.
Sure
so
is.
Parliament, the Canadian Parliament would be here. So
That's
this is
where it is.
the Parliament building? Can you
Yeah.
visit it? Aren't
Yes.
people working?
contains the
Yes, you can visit it while people are at work. There's just certain areas you're not allowed to go into while people are working there. The architecture on the interior is beautiful, and if you can get the tour, take the tour.
beauty and several other relevant buildings in the city. Because it's a large area, it's common to have outdoor activities here, such as festivals or even yoga. You can
This big field in front of parliaments. You
That is Parliament Hill, and that's where parties happen.
can do cool stuff there as well.
yeah.
Okay.
visit
okay.
the parliament interior, but when we went in May,
Wow.
it was closed, so we couldn't see it. But it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Tours are free. If it's cold, a great idea is staying around the pile.
Okay, the eternal flame does not keep you warm. It's just there for like decoration and principle. It's not gonna keep you warm. Like, you might be able to reach your hands close to the flame and warm them up a little bit, but don't count on that.
Fire located in its center.
There's a fire? You know what? If you need to make anywhere more interesting, just throw a giant flaming cauldron there.
Well, even cooler than that, it's like a fountain pond, but instead of a spout of water, it's a spout of flame.
That's what I always say, huh?
Centennial Flame. During the summer at night, there's a projection show in the Parliament building at night. Northern
Yes.
Lights. It was spring, but we were lucky. They were testing and we were able to check it out.
Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty cool when it was introduced when I was young, because we'd go up on the roof of the Chateau Laurier and we could just see the fireworks and the visual display, and you could kind of hear the music too, because Laurier is not that far away.
oh, smart. That's pretty cool. That's a cool way to even make the Parliament building even more interesting.
Yeah.
Probably for tourists. It looked like they were putting some history stuff up there, but I'm a tourist. I'd love it.
Okay, as a resident, that was also really cool to see all the history-related stuff, so it's not just for tourists, it's for the proud Canadian citizenry.
2. Rideau Hall. It is the official residence of the...
What is this called?
Check it out. And the show 3. 2. Rideau Hall.
Redo Hall?
Rideau Hall.
Rideau Hall.
It is the official residence of the Governor General of Canada, who represents Queen Elizabeth II, head
The Governor General.
Oh,
I
Tyler.
am not familiar with that position. I'm vaguely familiar with Canadian governments.
Didn't you learn this like a month beforehand? Maybe even less? It is the representative of the crown in Canada. Really, Tyler? Well, I understand it takes a while to learn. Let's keep going.
Governor General.
of the government and queen not only of the United Kingdom but also of Canada. When we were at
Wow.
Canada, it was Julie Payette. You can't shoot inside, so just took pictures. The tour
Okay.
is free and goes through several rooms in the palace. It explains the roles of the Governor General, the insignia, and much more. So
Oh god, I could use this, because this would be perfect for someone who doesn't know anything, hardly, about how Canadian politics work. So, I'd be the one staring at the little plaque on the wall, actually reading the history.
worth it. It is free, but you need to book in advance by phone. Details in the description. 3.
Okay.
Rideau Canal. It is a
Rideau Canal.
Rideau
Oh, this
Canal.
is nice.
canal in the middle of the city with a length up to 200 kilometers. There are several tourist attractions around it. It's good to walk along its length.
Can you ride in it? Oh,
Yes, there are boats that you can take that go along the Rideau Canal. There's a lock system that is right close to Parliament Hill, so you can observe the levels of water change. And in the winter, when it freezes over, there is the, what's it called? I'm going to put that up here. When it's cold enough, people can just skate on the canal. It becomes a whole Winterlude festival. That's it. And there's shopkeeps set up with little stands. You can get a beaver tail there. Wonderful.
Oh, you can skate on it?
Yeah.
Can you, like, get a little kayak or something and row down it?
In the winter, it becomes the
Why not?
largest ice skating rink in the world.
Oh, that's-
Don't forget to subscribe
That's
and
cool.
hit the like button. It will
do
help
that.
us a lot. 4.
All right, buddy.
And the reason why we ask to subscribe and like is because it does what's called engagement in the YouTube algorithm, which is a program that decides what to show people to watch. So the more people that like a video, the more likely that the program is to show it to more people. The more people that subscribe, the more likely it is to show to people who are subscribed to the channels you're subscribed to. So by you liking, subscribing, and commenting, it shares my video with more people, and more people that click those buttons and type those keys will show it to more people. And if I get past 1,000 subscribers, then YouTube starts giving me money, which means I can do more, like when y'all talking about Australian Tash or John F. American, or more of them, I'll have more time to actually devote to this, as opposed to what I'm using my time for now, which is to try and make my money to live. So thank you to everyone who does subscribe, like, and comment, and if you haven't yet, please do so. Together, we're gonna make blah 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 blah.
I'll give you a like. You got me.
Fairmont Chateau Laurier.
Fairmont Chateau Laurier. I can already tell that is a French name.
Le Chateau Laurier. It's basically a hotel and ballroom.
And is it a castle? Why does Canada have all these, like, awesome castles? Why can't America ever have a castle?
Because in America it would have been blown up or set on fire. And in Canada, there's the whole northern issue where, don't invade Russia in the wintertime. That kind of issue.
Why can't we have cool history? Why?
This is why you can't have nice things.
You gotta go. You gotta go to Ottawa to even see a cool castle.
A 1912 castle-like hotel on the banks of the Rideau Canal. You can
Oh, it's a hotel?
Yeah.
Wow, that actually had me fooled.
stay
Back in the 90s, we were able to just go up on the roof to look out over the city. I believe that access is limited now, which is a shame for anyone who's growing up in the region.
in one of its 429 rooms or visit some public areas, which include the main hall, restaurant, and art galleries. Free
Okay.
entrance.
True.
I don't know if I'm gonna go all the way to Ottawa just to visit some hotel.
No, but if you're in the area, it's definitely worth having a wander around the first floor at the very least.
I mean, this would have to be the best hotel of all time. I'll stay in the hotel. I'll sleep in the hotel. I don't know if I'm gonna go there just for the hotel.
Look, the lobby and the washrooms alone are worth walking in there.
Obviously, it's a nice hotel, though.
5. The National War Memorial.
National War Memorial. I wonder which war, if there's a specific war. There's a couple of Canadian conflicts I'm aware of
A
now.
memorial dedicated to the Canadians who died in several wars, including the First and Second World Wars.
Yeah, that's the emphasis. They were the most prominent wars, and that's right near the War Museum, which really shows off what you didn't learn.
It
Okay.
symbolizes the sacrifices made by all the Canadians who died or will one day die for the country. Free public tour. 6.
That's nice. That's a nice monument.
It
Notre
is.
Dame Basilica.
Notre Dame Basilica.
A church.
What is a basilica?
Dated from 1965, the basilica is a National Historic Site in Canada. Neoclassical and Neo-Gothic, it's the oldest and the largest in Ottawa.
Whoa. Whoa.
In Canada, Neoclassical and Neo-Gothic.
Is it like a cathedral?
Yeah.
But it's a basilica? I'm saying that right? This is insane. Beautiful.
It's the oldest and the largest in Ottawa. It impresses both outside and
I mean, look at that.
Yes.
The heck?
inside. With its terrace ceiling, free entrance, 7. Byward Market. It's a
Open air market in downtown Ottawa, and where you can find the beaver tail stand.
Byward Market. Is this just a Ottawa marketplace? America doesn't have any markets, you know? What? That's enough.
It's not just an open air market, but there are shops along there as well. And last time I was there, you could find extremely talented rippers.
Another thing, I just go all day over stuff in Canada that's better than America. I never get to talk about markets, say the word market. Yeah, Byward Market.
The market located in the center of Ottawa with several open-air shops with
Ooh.
cheese, chocolate, and of course delicious maple things.
Yes.
It's also
Okay.
where the Ottawa sign is located.
Yes.
Oh, the Ottawa sign. Talk about something that you gotta go to when you're in Ottawa.
Yeah, like when you're in Amsterdam, you've got to go to the sign that says, I am Amsterdam.
You should be arrested if you don't visit the Ottawa sign in Ottawa. Come on.
It's worth taking that classic photo to show that you've been to the city. Free public tour.
You can tell they went during the Tulip Festival because of all the tulips everywhere, which is a thing.
8. National Gallery of Canada.
Okay.
My apologies, not the Museum of Nature, but the gallery. The Museum of Nature must have the dinosaurs out front. Easy to forget. Or is that the Science and Technology? Cool museums in Ottawa, and the art gallery is big.
This is the giant spider. It's a piece of art. Makes sense that it's not an actual spider that's gonna rip my head off. And possibly
No.
part of a gallery.
It's made of iron?
I mean, if I'm not trolling, it's obviously pretty amazing and would actually be super cool. So.
Yes.
We didn't get into the museum, but we passed through the spider monument in front of it. It is one
Okay.
of the largest art museums in North America.
It's
and
big.
Oh, this looks cool.
And it is cool. Like, I think I've been to the gallery maybe 3 times, 4 times in my life, and each visit, I was not able to see the entirety of the gallery.
Like, art museums, I feel like can be kind of hit or miss, but if it has kind of like exhibitions like the big spider and stuff like this, which is like really visually stunning, then
That's just the architecture of the building. That's just the ceiling when you walk in.
and this is definitely somewhere I'd love to go.
the entrance in 2020 was 16 Canadian dollars.
Fine.
9. Major Hills Park. It's a park close to the Byward Market.
Big
Quiet,
park.
Okay.
Good for walking.
Look at this. Like, you just don't get scenery like this, where you can just go to a park and in the distance see this fantastical, beautiful tower, clock tower, cathedral.
That's the Peace Tower on Parliament Hill. And yes, beautiful parks.
Whatever you have there in the background.
Yeah.
You just don't get that.
It's wonderful because it really sets the tone for the Ottawa Valley, where it is a big, small town just plunked in the middle of forest. And so we've got nature all over the place by the riverside, and lots of city, but also lots of nature. And yeah, it really is a big, small town. I found living there that no matter where I went, I'd run into someone that I knew.
In America, and it's sad, but that's what we have Canada for.
And for observing the Ottawa River in the back of the Parliament. Free
Okay.
public tour. 10. Nepean Point. It's a
Nepean, that's how it's pronounced in the region. Not Nepean, not Nepean, not Nepean, it's Nepean.
A hill with a scenic view of the city. At the top, there's a statue of the French explorer Samuel de Champlain.
I'm not familiar with him.
And this is in the south end of Ottawa.
But this does seem like a cool way to get to, like, a high point in Ottawa where you can kind of scour the land. No, you can get up here and look around and get like a good view of everything. That'd be kind of awesome.
The other side of the river, there's the city of Gatineau, which is in the province of Quebec, in the French part of Canada. 11 Commissioners Park. If it's spring, it's worth visiting Commissioners Park.
Okay, so he just skipped over Gatineau real quick there. But as a teenager growing up in the area, you know, in the United States, drinking age is 21, okay? But in most of Canada, drinking age is 19. Except in Quebec, the drinking age is 18. So growing up, once I hit 18, all we had to do was drive across the river or take the ferry across the river to Quillan, which is the region where I grew up. In the West End, right? But hey, if we were closer to downtown, we'd just hop over to Gatineau and we could go to the local SAC, or SAQ, which is like the LCBO, which is the liquor store. And you could get beer at the local corner stores. And you could go drink at a bar. And it was totally okay. And that's why I was done with alcohol by the time I got to my 19th birthday.
In May, they celebrate the Canadian Tulip.
Does it always have all these beautiful flowers?
This is just during the Tulip Festival, but yes, beautiful flowers are a mainstay of the parks in Ottawa.
Is that why it's important to be here in the proper season? Because it has like all this beautiful flowers and stuff?
Yeah, I always tell people, if you're going to Ottawa, either go for Winterlude or for the Tulip Festival. That's when it's most worth the visit.
Which is absolutely amazing, with something like 300,000 tulips at the fest.
300,000? 300,000? I can't even imagine 300,000 tulips.
They're everywhere.
There are several fairs and food trucks. Free public tour. 12 Royal Canadian Mint.
Yes, the Mint, where you can learn the history of our money. And it was a boring tour for an 8-year-old, but for an adult, very fun and informative.
Great place to visit through its guided tour. It is possible to see the building from inside and understand the coin making process. There's also a shop.
Oh, a mint! I was like, Great Canadian Mint. Like,
no.
The mints that you eat? That you
like the mint that we grow in our gardens? Because we do.
Suck on? Like a breath mint? The mint, like when you mint currency, like a coin.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love this.
Yeah, you would then, and you'd get to see all the commemorative coins that have been made over the decades, including all of the quarters, and there are so many decorative quarters. It's just beautiful. Like, what is that, a Batman coin? No, it's Parliament Hill, I know.
That is exactly the kind of thing that grabs my interest. A combination of history and like engineering and something. Oh yeah,
metallurgy.
Shop where you can buy souvenirs, commemorative coins, and where you have the opportunity to hold an original gold bar. It's kinda heavy. The tour costs $6.
$6, no problem.
Now let's go to the restaurant recommendations. 13 Fatboy Southern Smokehouse.
Wait, we're just taking out a whole spot just to recommend this restaurant. This is
sure.
I mean, I'm setting my expectations in accordance, you know? This is probably a really good smokehouse. Wait, Southern Smokehouse? What are we talking about here?
You can't go to Canada, not eat poutine. It's basically fries with...
Oh, you can get poutine here.
You can get poutine anywhere in Ottawa because Quebec is right over the river. We consider poutine a staple food there.
Yes. All right. That's the perfect plan for me because I've always said I gotta try poutine. Because it sounds good.
Yeah, like when I was gigging in the Ottawa region, I was a bass player in a band. Whenever we were hungry, yeah, we'd get a poutine.
And then you just go to Ottawa you kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You get to go to Ottawa.
Or another Canadian saying is you get 3 birds stoned at once.
You get to go to this smokehouse, famous smokehouse, and then you get to eat poutine. Your life would just be complete at that point, you know?
Sauce and cheese. Trust us, it's exception. Check the menu link at the description. 14.
Okay.
The Highlanders Pub. It's an Irish-style pub in North America. It offers rock concerts and a nice atmosphere. The link to the menu is in the video description.
It is a nice atmosphere. I'll give them that. The Highlander Pub, great place to just sit and have a pint.
Okay.
15. Hokkaido Sushi. Like to try?
Hokkaido sushi. This is...
Haven't been.
We're really getting away. We're looking at like beautiful, gorgeous monuments and historical landscapes and buildings in Ottawa, the canal, and now we're all the way at a sushi restaurant. Okay, you know, actually, I don't mind it.
Why not, though?
Sushi on our travels. For that, we went to the Hokkaido Sushi in Ottawa. Link to the menu in the description. Some travel tips now.
Is sushi like a big thing in Canada?
Yes, but the real big thing is that we're a multicultural country, so anyone can open up any national restaurant with whatever culture they wish, and we will go there. Like the New Dubrovnik, for example. Great international cuisine, and not something you would find just anywhere.
Or is it kind of the same as in America, where some people just really love sushi and it's just kind of a thing, and some people don't? Is it just kind of like that?
In my town, off the top of my head, let's count the sushi restaurants. There's East, Wind, Tuna, there's that one without a sign, then there's the ones in the North End, like... there's the one by the mall. There's the one in the other mall. There's a lot of sushi.
Vibe in Canada?
How long to stay in Ottawa? We recommend 2 or 3 days in Ottawa. Don't underestimate the city. Where to stay in Ottawa? Hosting tips are in the video description. We stayed on an Airbnb in Centertown, a house with several...
Oh, Airbnb is the way to go.
Yes.
By the way, now that we're bringing it up.
But maybe not with Airbnb. Maybe choose one of the others, like a stay away or something privately owned and operated. Yeah.
You can usually end up with like basically a whole house to yourself, and it's usually a super cool house in like a really cool place like Ottawa. Yeah, Airbnb. Don't get me started.
Rooms, and we stayed in one of them. Link in the description. How's the weather in Ottawa?
That depends entirely on the time of year. You know, you go in the wintertime, it's going to be really cold. You go in the summertime, it's going to be really hot. You go in the fall, it's going to be wet. And you go in the spring, it's going to be pretty nice.
Most of the year, between September and May, it's cold. And between November and March, it's winter. It's very cold. I always suggest taking cold clothes, because you never know how the unpredictable weather will be. But in winter,
so you really do want to think about when you visit Ottawa.
And that's why I suggest Tulip Festival or Winterlude, because those are probably the best times. Oh, Canada Day, also a good time to be in the Ottawa region, if you like people.
Americans don't like the cold. I'm not saying Canadians like the cold. I don't think anyone likes the cold, but...
Oh, there are people who like the cold, yeah. I'm not one of them, but there are a lot of people who will be like, shorts and a t-shirt in wintertime. I don't get it. But they're all people who are heavily, let's say, insulated. Corporeally
Americans
speaking.
Are not even close to acclimated to the cold. It's a very short winter here, and we hate it. So I feel like I'd be really particular with when I scheduled my visits.
You know, growing up out in the West End, it was the time of the thaw, sometimes early June. No kidding.
You may need special clothes because the winter is very, very harsh. Our trip was in May 2019.
There's a tradition of Halloween. You have to wear your parka with your costume because it might snow.
Yes, it was cold. Did you like it? Subscribe to the channel,
Okay.
like the video, check out our other...
Is that it?
Looks like it.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Station to station travelers. Yeah, very
All
nice
right.
video. I enjoyed that a lot, actually.
Good summary.
Very cool.
And it really showed the city that fun forgot.
Well, that certainly gave me a lot to think about Ottawa. As I expected, it absolutely like hits the nail on the head as far as historical, like buildings, things to visit, things to tour.
And it did not even hit every nail.
There's a couple of cool things that was mentioned, like the market and some things that are more like activities that you can physically do. I'm really into that kind of stuff. The canal you can visit and that monument where you can look over all of Ottawa. So this video only focused on a certain set of things, I feel.
And I feel like 2 or 3 days is a good way to just skim through Ottawa. If you're actually interested in the galleries and the museums and the parks and the culture, you want to take a week.
There's probably a bunch more attractions in Ottawa than were represented in this video.
The Museum of Science and Technology has trains in the building. Your kids can climb all over trains.
But I did enjoy the wide range of stuff that was shown here.
Science and Tech Museum has a rocket ship in the park out front. Yeah, that's worth a visit if you're a nerd and into tech or science. It's worth it, totally. Like the Museum of Nature. Yeah, and the Natural History Museum, where it goes over the history of the land and the people. Yes, there's so much more.
It's actually pretty cool. And apparently a great smokehouse and sushi place, which, in all honesty, is good advice.
There's a lot of good places to eat in Ottawa, and I'm talking downtown. Like, you don't have to walk very far, and you can walk. Like, my dad used to work for Bell Canada. He was a technician, and he would park his car, walk to his office, and then whenever he had a job to go and do, he would just walk to the site and then walk to the next one and then walk somewhere to eat and then walk to the next job and walk back. Very walkable city. Absolutely.
So, anyway, I enjoyed that. That was cool. Ottawa is definitely cool. I kind of expected it to be cool, and it is. And I feel like there's more. There's more to learn about it. But this is good for now. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video,
or
if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this,
or like this,
me reacting to Canada,
to him,
Canada,
my cat occasionally
Canada,
shows up,
culture, things I've never seen. Feel free
my
to
commentary
subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video even a little bit as much as I have, because I've enjoyed sharing some of this information and some of my perspective with you. Yes, I suggest that if you're going to stay in Ottawa, you stay in the downtown core, the Centerville, Centreville, downtown. Yes, it's worth it. And hey, if you did enjoy, go ahead, do all those things he mentioned. Geez, I'm not going to repeat myself here. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all just keep being awesome. Bye. Science. Spirit. Life. Nerd Pumpkin.